name is Stacy Nelson, and I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Project. So our main mission is collaboration with all of the law enforcement, prosecutors, Department of Family Services. So we wouldn't really exist and do a great job if we didn't have their, all of their members to do the teamwork with it. So the whole point is just to collaborate and have a really strong response to child abuse cases, and so that throughout the investigation the child gets the best response or treatment, I guess, that is possible.
My name is Rosemary Bartle. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Wyoming, and I'm also a forensic interviewer at the Children's Advocacy Project. The Children's Advocacy Project is part of a national group of children's centers that talk to child victims of sexual abuse, physical abuse, gross neglect, and child witnesses to violent crimes. And the reasons the centers were created in the first place was because there was a time when children who had experienced trauma had to tell their story over and over and over.
In 2019, we served 326 kids, and that was the most we had ever served since we opened. Last year, 2020, we served 314, so it was still pretty high, especially with COVID, and it was a pretty concerning time for all of us in this profession because, especially when school is not in session, there just were not as many eyes on the kids, so reports went down dramatically to DFS and to law enforcement.
A forensic interview is designed to be a safe, non-suggestive, non-leading approach. And so time is spent with the victim building some trust and rapport. We talk about benign topics like, tell me about what you do at school, or what are your favorite things to do when you're not at school. And so we build some trust and some sense of safety with the victim before we begin to talk about why are you here today and what happened. So in addition to providing forensic interviews, we offer trauma-focused cognitive behavioral counseling, which is a type of therapy that is designed and well recognized for working with child victims of trauma.
We are lucky. Casper is so generous. Even through COVID and everything else, I know it's been really difficult for a lot of agencies, but we've still had really good responses of people donating, and we also receive funding from the city and county, as well as other jurisdictions from other cities and counties, because we serve on average, about 14 different counties in Wyoming, and so I have conversations with their city council members and county commissioners to talk about the services that we're doing for them. The last thing we want to do is put an additional pressure on them when they're already going through all the trauma, and we just want them to be able to focus on that and not worry about having to pay us anything. So we don't charge for therapy or for the interviews. We don't charge law enforcement or DFS for the interviews either. It's just something that we can provide because we get funding from so many places. Helps take that burden off the family because it's just not what they should be worried about. So if we can bill their insurance, we will, but that's not the priority. If they don't have insurance, nothing changes as far as what we provide for them. So yes, we accept donations. A lot of times it's office supplies that are really helpful, just the basics what every office needs, paper supplies, pens, pencils, things like that. We also keep a small little pantry of, snacks like crackers and juices and chips, fruit snacks, all those things that the kids like, granola bars, things like that. So we have some things for them so that they can, get a little boost of energy and feel a little better. So any of those kind of donations are so much appreciated. One thing, we also provide training and education in the community, and I think that's something anybody can call and ask us to come do it for their company or their business, teachers, anybody for their classrooms. We can do it for kids and for adults. Obviously the topics are a little different on who the audience is. We have to cater it to the audience, but it's really important for the public in general to understand that abuse happens to the kids, and you may not realize it's happening, but the training we give for the adults helps adults recognize different signs of child abuse. It helps recognize if there are other adults that might be targeting kids, and social media concerns, all those kind of things. And all the little donations we can get and all the support we get from the community, like you guys at Windy City Delivery, it helps us so much, because a lot of people think, oh, I can only afford $20 and that's not going to be enough, so they don't do it. And when you're nonprofit and small, it adds up so much, so all of the support helps tremendously.